scared me away. I wanted
Yeah.
to start with him. I wanted to. I just didn't know. We talked about it a little bit about which one of these guys is the guy, and which to not talk about regular just playoffs, but this might actually benefit them in the playoffs because now obviously they can't rely on Derek Carr, so so it might benefit them that you don't know which guy, and they have Latavius Murray, they have the muscle, and then they have the speed and
yeah, they've got a little thunder lightning in Jalen Richard's an excellent athlete. He's been a lot of fun to watch. So there's a lot of value out there for players this week. I think that any daily fantasy player can go out there and get really creative with the lineup this week. I think it's very, very important to take the warning that you just don't know what some of these teams are going to do. So when you're picking the lineups, make sure you know who's playing. There's a good possibility you might spend $9,300 on somebody who's sitting the bench in the second quarter.
Yeah, that was again why I stayed away from Julio, even though I think that they could use him, but they don't need to.
Yeah, it's how much. Look, they're winning without him. Is he on the field, as you mentioned earlier, as a decoy? It's just for me, it's too risky. I wouldn't spend the chalk dollar on them to get that stuffed right back in your face when he doesn't do much of anything. I mean, maybe a guy like Mohamed Sanu at 5,100. But again, like you said, you don't really need to save all this money. There's ability to get and pack these lineups with good players that are going to play this week. So I think that's the whole idea, is just get after the guys who you know are playing, plug them in your lineups, and see what happens. Just this is not a week, like Thanksgiving weekend, and in the opportunities where you have these little 3-game gangbusters to play. Those are the weekends to put the big money in it and really roll the dice. This is not a week to do that. This is a week that there's a lot of crap shooting going on here. So maybe a handful of lineups. I'm going to back off the old bankroll here probably by about 80% and play about 20% of what I normally play, which is an undisclosed amount. I'm not sharing that information with anybody up to and including my soon-to-be wife. We'll be keeping that.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
It is, yeah. I'm trying not to break my own rule here. Yeah, so that said, man, we unfortunately have hit a time limit rather quickly. But that's okay. That's okay because we'll be back next week really ready to storm the gates. We've said that about 4 times tonight, I have. But I'm excited, really excited about playoff daily fantasy football. That is where you make hay. That is where you have the opportunity, like we talk about, these short windows with 4 games, good teams, 4 games, matchups that you understand completely. You know what these teams are looking to do. Home field advantage in the playoffs makes a huge difference. So there's a ton to be excited about going into next week. This week, let's have some fun. Let's pick them and let's win them. But Mike, next week, pencil to paper, nose to the grindstone. Next week, start winning some big money.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, I would say, regardless, we obviously put some good picks up tonight. But when you're looking, look to the games that we discussed. Avoid the Dallas-Philly game. Avoid the Baltimore-Cincinnati game. For the most part, avoid the Chicago-Minnesota game, even though we both liked a couple wide receivers in there. Mm-hmm. As a whole, don't build your foundation on that game. You really want to build your team this week on the games we discussed, which was basically the New Orleans-Atlanta game, most definitely the Green Bay-Detroit game. That's the number 1 game this week. You can get some love on Seattle-San Francisco and also the Washington Giants game. Those are the games you really want to focus on. Those are the guys that are really playing for something. That's the people that you're not going to have any restrictions. They're not going to sit anybody. That's the advice you really want to employ this week, I think.
It is, and it's the idea of trying to find the norm. You've got to find what's business as usual as opposed to what's going on, and you have no idea. Find the business as usual games this week, like you mentioned, Detroit, Green Bay. San Diego, Kansas City should be the same way. Go get them, man. On that, Mike, I think we've emptied the tank, man. Do you got anything left?
No, man, that's about it.
That's what we like to call ball game. Well, I hope everybody else enjoyed this season, all 17 weeks of it. I know I did, Mike. I can't thank you enough for coming on board. What started out as a guest spot turned into a regular spot, and I really do enjoy having you, man. It makes my Thursday nights a lot of fun. It's made me a few bucks too, man. It's made FanDuel a lot more enjoyable when you can take an hour and break it down with a brother and try to figure out what it is we're looking to do. So, yeah, can't wait to hit it up next week. We're going to do this all throughout the playoffs. Again, the likelihood of us producing a pick'em show this week is slim to none, as Joey Peeps is probably caught in the bear trap of another bar skank that he's run into. I do know that his New Year's resolutions next year are to clean up his act a little bit. So maybe, just maybe, Slumlord Horn Dog won't be bringing us the same awful stories as he usually does. Maybe we can clean this kid up a little bit, straighten him out. And if we don't, then he's still going to crack me up all through 2017. But that said, my friend, we're done.
Sounds good, buddy. Have a Happy New Year, everybody, and go win yourself some money.
Win some money. Happy New Year. Drive safe. Don't drug and drive. Take an Uber. Take a Lyft. Take a cab. Be smart. Go see your friends. Hug your loved ones. Have a great night. Happy New Year, guys. We'll see you.